one of the big ticket items that we sold on the truck that whenever we had it, we almost sold out every day was our filet mignon fries. Give them a try. We're going to show you how to make them now. Alright, we're going to start with the basics of our steak fries. One of the seasonings that we put on it and also in some of the recipes is going to be a house seasoning salt. And for this, we're going to take 1.5 teaspoons of white pepper, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder or minced garlic, the powdery form, and then 2 teaspoons of sea salt. We're going to mix this together, and this is going to become part of the seasoning mix that we use on our steak fries. One of the toppings we put on the steak fries was marinated onions, and those you need to let marinate for 2 hours for minimum and preferably up to 24. We've got a sweet onion here. Try to use a Vidalia or anything that's sweet. We're just going to cut those into nice little slices. We want them to be almost like onion rings. They make for a funner, cool presentation. There's only 2 of us, so we're only going to use about half of an onion, because those are actually going to make a ton of little rings. We'll place that in our bowl. To that bowl, we're going to add half a cup of vegetable oil, half a cup of white vinegar, and then we've already got our spices already together, which is 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, 1/4 a teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 a teaspoon of dried parsley, and 1/4 a teaspoon of oregano. Just gonna stick that all in there. Grab ourselves a spoon. Or a fork. Give that a nice mix. This helps give the steak fries just a nice little bit of acid to the top of it. Steak fries was my niece's favorite fry on the entire truck. All right, we're going to let this set for a minimum of 2 hours in the refrigerator. The next item we put on our steak fries was a chimichurri sauce. This is a really easy sauce to make, but it's another one of those things that you need to marinate for at least 2 hours and let it stand in the refrigerator. We'll take in roughly half a cup of cilantro, and we've kind of diced it up, and half a cup of flat leaf parsley. Chop those up and put those in there. And now we're going to take 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, 1/2 a cup of olive oil, and you want to use a really good olive oil in this, because olive oil is basically the only liquid besides a little bit of lemon juice. It's really important to be good. And then we're going to take 1/8 of a cup of a freshly squeezed lemon, and then we're going to add our spice mixture. And our spice mixture is going to be 1/2 a teaspoon of oregano, 1/2 a tablespoon of crushed red pepper, and 1/2 a teaspoon of our house seasoning that we made earlier. It helps give a little bit of body. If you don't put the house seasoning, it's not the same. Stick our lid on that. These are great little mixers. Everyone should have one of these. Sits on top. Gonna give a couple of pulses. And that's it. We've got our chimichurri sauce. This sauce, again, you need to let it set for a minimum of 2 hours in your refrigerator. Smells delicious, if you can take a look at that. All right, our next step is to make some homemade French fries. Our next step in making our fries is actually to make the fries themselves. We've taken 3 potatoes, we've washed them. It was much easier on the truck because we had those French fry cutters. We're just going to cut these into about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. And we're going to make ours more into like little steak fries almost. And we're going to dump those in some water because we want to help get as much of that starch as we possibly can out. So we're going to slice these into the little French fry type sizes. And then we're going to let them sit in the cold water for approximately 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and get our fryer started. And we're going to get our oil up to 300 degrees. I remember that I had a gentleman ask me if we would share a recipe for one of our fries that we have. And I was like, no, I apologize, I won't share that. And he asked why, and it's because, as you can see with this recipe, we're doing 4 different recipes to equal 1. That one was much longer. You would end up watching a video that's about 1.5 hours, 2 hours long, just in order to figure out how to assemble that French fry. Because we made everything fresh on the truck, which made a huge difference. All right, we're going to go ahead and let these soak for roughly 30 minutes. Our potatoes have been in the water for about 30 minutes or so. We're going to go ahead and dump the water off those. And we're going to take those potatoes and stick them on a towel. You can use a paper towel. We're going to use this cloth here. We're going to try to get as much extra water as we possibly can off of those. We really don't want that extra water in our deep fryer. It can create a huge mess. What we've done, we've taken our deep fryer, we've preheated it to 300 degrees. These are our double fried potatoes. We cooked these or made these a little bit thicker than what we do on the truck. All right, let's go ahead and get these ready to deep fry. We're going to stick our potatoes. We're not going to do too many of them at a time because we don't want it to the oil to get cold. But we're going to cook these probably 5-6 minutes at 300 degrees. We want them to be soft on the inside, almost like a mashed potato, but we also want them to still be a little bit firm. I'm going to drop them and get them cooking. Take about 5 minutes. All right, those are beginning to brown up a little bit. We're going to set these up a little bit, let some of the grease drain off of them. Then we're going to stick them over on a paper towel and let them cool for a few minutes. This is just step 1. Step 2 is we're going to bring the fries back in just a few minutes and cook them at a higher temperature at 350 degrees to make them crispy on the outside. If you want to make these in advance, this first version, you can do so. But you pretty much want to make sure that you use them or you fry them the second time, usually within 24 to 36 hours. Otherwise, they'll begin to sour. We're going to go ahead and finish our fries off here. Okay, our deep fryer is now up to 350 degrees. We're going to go ahead and set our fries. You can see there's a little bit wobbly. See that? You got that little flex in them. That's kind of what you want. We're going to stick those all down in there. And we're going to cook these anywhere between 2 and 4 minutes. Because what we want to do is we want to get that nice crispiness on the outside. So the fries are soft and gooey and yummy on the inside and crispy on the outside. All right, 350 degrees for 2 to 3 minutes. All right, our fries are ready. They're a nice golden brown. I'll go ahead and turn my deep fryer off there. Get a little bit rid of the excess oil. I'll set down, use our tongs, kind of make it evenly. Okay, we're just going to add just a little bit of sea salt on these. Potatoes can take a lot of salt, but then again, you don't want to go over too far. All right, potatoes are done. Now let's go ahead and do our steak. We went to the market and we got a couple fillets for our steak fries here. We're going to take the bacon off. We're really not going to use the bacon off of here. We're going to cut these into little cubes. I remember when we first served these. We used to have steak fries all the time on the truck. And then what we did is we switched off and we then made filet fries. And I remember when the first time we had the filet fries, we went to an event. And at that event, there was several other food trucks. There were some that had tacos that were sold for $1. We would see hamburgers for $2. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to be dead. By 11 o'clock, we had a line that just wouldn't stop. And these filet fries sold out within an hour. And we had probably 15, 20 pounds of filet meat, which was absolutely amazing. We couldn't believe it. And the organizers came up and they were like, you were so busy, so the television station came in front of you, to show it. And I'm like, we never even saw them. We were just so incredibly busy. These are really tasty. And we only really ran them on special events because filet was so high. We didn't want them to have it every day. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this up, and then we're going to fry this in a saute pan. We'll make sure we get all that little, even on fillets, there's just a little bit of gristle every once in a while. It's a little hard. We want to make sure we get that off. All right, that looks pretty good. And we're going to go ahead and start making our fries. We're going to go ahead here and start cooking our steak while our fries are getting ready. We're going to put in probably about a tablespoon of oil here, which is our olive oil. We're going to let that heat up for just a second. Smooth that around. And we're going to go ahead to that. We're going to add our filet that we just finished dicing. We did 2 6-ounce fillets, so you have about 12 ounces of meat there, which is more than enough for 2 people. This is a really classic plate off steak and fries. And then we're going to take a little bit of our house seasoning, and we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of our house seasoning on top of our fries. I'm sorry, on top of our steak here. That'll help give it just a little bit of extra flavor. We're going to go ahead and cook this to well done. That's kind of like how we like our steaks when it comes to these fries. If you want yours at a different temperature, please go ahead and cook them like that. Also, the house seasoning, it was beginning at the beginning of the video, so go back and take a look at that. You can't remember exactly what into it. We'll go ahead and finish cooking this off. Alright, it looks like our steak is finished cooking. We're going to set this off to the side, and we're going to go ahead and start assembling our fries. Everything is ready to assemble our steak fries here. We're going to take some of our fries, stick them on our plate. Alright, good. Grab some of our filet. Stick our filet there across the top. Doesn't that look delicious? We're not even finished yet. Take some of our chimichurri sauce that we made earlier. We want to stir that to make sure it's all nice and everything is incorporated properly. Put that on top there. Take our tongs. Grab some of our marinated onions. Take 3 of those big onions, because they're pretty good sized. Stick those across the top. We're going to finish it with a little bit of our house seasoning. This house seasoning just kind of puts it over the top. If you enjoy recipes like this, please take a moment to like and subscribe, and we hope you enjoyed this food truck recipe.